Beautiful. So, welcome to this Discover Quantum Touch webinar. In this hour we have together, we are going to learn about quantum touch, and we are even going to practice an introduction of this modality. So, we will hear healing stories, we will learn about how quantum touch energy healing works. We'll get to feel it and we'll get to learn about how we can get started learning ourselves uh, or reaching out to book a session if you are wanting to have quantum touch help in your healing journey. Awesome. So, welcome. My name is Thea Willette. And as we wait for other people to join us, I'm just going to run the energy for 5 minutes, and this will set the tone of our time together. I want you to hold an intention of what you want to get out of this hour. What do you want to experience? What do you want to learn? What do you want to take away after this evening? Perhaps you have a physical pain or a challenge or emotions are coming up, or you are in a circumstance that you want to use the energy for. So just be present with what that is. Notice what's coming up. Notice what sensations are coming up in your body, because we are going to use the energy to shift what we are experiencing. Okay, so we're going to become present and aware of these pains and these challenges, these sensations that we're feeling in our body. And we're going to shift the energy to our intention. All right, so as I'm running the energy, you can simply relax, enjoy, tune into your body. You can tune into your breath. Notice what's coming up. Uh, awesome. So let's begin. I'm going to play my music again here. Beautiful. tuning into your body, letting yourself be present in this moment. Notice any thoughts, feelings, emotions, or memories that arise. Is coming up to be seen, to be felt, to be loved, and to be transformed. Bringing in your intention. What is it that you're hoping to get out of our time together? What would your ideal outcome look? What is that dream you hold inside that you want to see come to fruition? Seeing yourself in this future moment where it's already done. Beautiful. Trusting the energy will continue to run for as long as it's needed. Already done. Wonderful. So I'm going to stop my music. You can take a sip of water. Beautiful. So like I said, my name is Thea Willette, and this is the Discover Quantum Touch webinar, where we are going to learn about quantum touch. We're going to hear some incredible stories, and we're going to learn how we can get started with this modality. Quantum touch is an energy healing modality, and it's one that's quite dear to my heart. And we'll jump into our presentation here. Beautiful. All right. So my journey, I came here through my own struggles. That's how I learned about quantum touch. So at the time, I was struggling with my fertility. I was waiting. At points, I wasn't even getting a period. And then I was having recurrent miscarriages. And all of this brought a lot of emotions, a lot of grief, a lot of stress and frustration. And to add to all of that, I was working as an ultrasound tech in women's health and fertility for 10 years at this point. And I was working at an infertility clinic. And I fit the criteria to accept help through my clinic. And when it came time to further investigations, further with medication and treatment through my clinic, I just had this knowing that there had to be another way. And at the time, I couldn't explain that. I was raised in a Christian family. I went to school through science, and I was in this world that told me how we are to get pregnant. And I knew intellectually how to do that, right? Or so I thought. In my work, and I helped countless women. I was alongside their journey, performing ultrasounds in all aspects of their fertility journeys, whether investigations, helping with procedures, even IVF. I was there helping women. So I had this background of knowing what fertility treatment was available for help. And when it came time for me to need it, there was just, my body was screaming, no, there has to be another way. And I followed that knowing. I surrendered. I refused further treatment through my work. And little did I know, I had intuitively picked up on this, what we call quantum touch. And that's going to make a little more sense as we start to learn about quantum touch. But quantum touch is such an intuitive, innate technique. And it is quite common for people to pick up on this prior to learning it. And when we work in quantum, we're working through time and space. And there are many ways that we can kind of explain it. I mean, we're still trying to figure out the quantum. And what I love what Richard Gordon did, Richard Gordon is the founder of Quantum Touch. He really did take these techniques and make them very practical. Okay, so you don't need to learn about quantum physics. You don't need to understand the science behind it. Richard Gordon was really able to take these steps, make them really simple so that we can follow it and we can get incredible results. And people will intuitively come across these steps. Quantum touch itself was put together by Richard Gordon, and he learned this technique from an intuitive healer, Bob Rasmussen. So quantum touch in itself is very intuitive. Bob Rasmussen had intuitive abilities, he realized that he could ask a question and receive an answer in his head. And when he was visiting one of his friends, one of their daughters came home from school and she was crying. And Bob asked in his head, "How can I help this girl?" And she was crying because she had bowed legs and the kids at school were making fun of her. So Bob asked, "How can I help her?" And he felt guided to place his hands on either side of her legs. And following his breathing techniques, mind you, he wasn't conscious of what these breathing techniques were. He just breathed as he felt was natural. And he watched this little girl's legs come into alignment. Uh, Bob then went on to share and demonstrate what he was able to do. And that was when Richard Gordon had watched this and was amazed. Later became Bob's apprentice and neighbor and learned everything Bob was doing and basically took everything Bob was doing and created a framework. And that is what we call quantum touch. So here is a picture of my beautiful family. I think I'll just move our faces here. So my husband and I and our three beautiful children. Uh, so many aspects were guided by quantum touch. I intuitively came into this information to surrender, to tapping into the power of my breath, to the power of intention. When getting pregnant with my second, and then it was with my third that it was really uncovering emotions. And we can learn about emotions in one of our quantum touch workshops, but really learning how to become aware and move the energy of emotions to shift it and create those outcomes. And that is how my daughter came into this world, which is beautiful. Awesome. So I would love to know, you can place it in the chats or in the comments if you're watching this on replay. What are you wanting from this talk? I would love to know what has brought you here. Why are you interested? Is there personal healing that you are looking for? Relief from pain? Are you wanting to help friends and family? Are you wanting to jump into quantum touch as a possible career? Or are you a medical professional or just curious about energy and wanting to learn more? These are all great ways of getting started. And we can chat a bit more about how powerful this is and how it's going to help in all of these aspects. For myself, it really did help with personal healing, helping to navigate and explore all of the emotions that I was experiencing, how to tune into my body and listen to the sensations, and then holding that intention to reduce pain. I even use the quantum touch method during my labors, having quick labors then with my children, natural labors, to recovering postpartum. I would run the energy while I was nursing my child, and my children were great sleepers. I would run energy as I was nursing them that they would be healthy and thriving and sleep well. And that was really powerful. As well, I use it now, even as a mom, as my children are growing up, whenever they have a cut or a bump, or they're feeling overwhelmed, right? They're throwing a temper tantrum. That is a perfect time to run the energy. Whether I'm physically beside them or maybe I'm across the room, I can run the energy to them. So this is a great way of helping friends and family. I now get to share this work professionally. I get to work one-on-one with clients, helping them, whether it's through their motherhood journey or wherever they are in their health journey, as well as offering workshops. So I did go on to become a quantum touch practitioner and a quantum touch level 1 instructor. So I get to teach this workshop because absolutely quantum touch is powerful and it can help you move through the challenges that you are experiencing. But how beautiful would it be for you to learn this skill for you to use in your day-to-day? You can use it as triggers, as events pop up in your day, as pains come up, as well as helping your friends and family. And even if you are a medical professional, you can use it alongside your profession. There was a time when I worked still in ultrasound while also knowing quantum touch. And that was when I really became aware of energy and feeling it. And after learning the workshop and becoming aware of energy, I noticed that when patients came into my ultrasound room, they would feel anxious. And I started to feel that anxious energy. So as I was giving them their ultrasound, I would be running the energy as well. And I could just feel the energy soften. I could feel them melt. They would open up in conversation. They would share details about their life. It became this cathartic experience for them. And once again, you don't have to share what you're doing. This is simply helping those around you. Uh, I have since teach this to other medical professionals, to nurses. There was one nurse I taught, and she said that after the workshop, she would hold her pill cart as she brought it down the hallways. So as she brought her pill cart down the hallways to administer medication to her patients, she would be running the energy that this medication is going to help them for the greatest and highest good, that their body would get what it needs. And she noticed that the mood of her patients was lifted. I've taught this to, there was another gentleman, he was an osteopath, and he went on to use quantum touch with all of his patients. And he would see them maybe once, twice, three times, and then he wouldn't see them anymore because they were no longer needed. They no longer needed his services, and his career is flourishing on word of mouth. I have taught this to a doctor. She was an anesthesiologist, and she told me that she would run the energy to her moms who were in a C-section. So when she was going to give the anesthetics to the mom during the C-section, she would have them imagine being home, holding their newborn, quick recovery, and really just enjoying this time growing and nurturing her children, being home, enjoying watching her children grow up. And she realized that her patients that were able to imagine a happy outcome, being home, snuggling their baby, she actually administered less anesthetics. And she said that the patients who weren't able to hold that positive image, she still couldn't control their pain. So using this is so powerful to affect the outcomes, whether you are a medical profession or you're just curious. Like I said, I am a mom. I have three young kids, and I get to use energy work and specifically quantum touch when they have a bee sting or when they have a fall out of a tree or whatever it might be. We just take that moment to run the energy. And it's really interesting when we talk about being innate or intuitive, our first thought when we see someone we love who is in pain is we want to put our hands on them. We want to give them a hug. We want to rub their shoulders. There is just this natural energy that's already flowing out of us, and it's coming through our hands. So we can talk a bit more about that. Let's get into quantum touch highlights. It is simple. It is based in simplicity. This is our innate abilities to be able to do this. Like I had just mentioned, it is just so natural for us to want to help when we see someone in pain. When we see a loved one in pain, we want to give them a hug. We want to ease their burdens. That is just a natural ability that we have as humans. So it allows us to provide healing energy to ourselves and to others. Whenever we notice a pain or an issue come up with ourselves, we can take a moment to pause, we can run the energy, and it will help to alleviate the pain or the stress that we're feeling in that moment, as well as to our loved ones. The really cool thing is we're just going to use relaxed hands. We don't need to force the energy. The energy is naturally flowing through us. So no force is needed. It's not like massage where we have to push the muscles. It's not like we have to use like heat or cold therapy. We're not trying to manipulate or force the muscles in any way. We are simply going to feel relaxed, be relaxed, letting that energy flow through. And we can do this hands-on or at a distance. So it was really cool. When Richard Gordon first learned this, it was all hands-on. And as human consciousness evolves and we become more aware of what we are capable of, he realized that we can do this from a distance. And just like how we are doing this from a distance, how you were able to feel the energy flow at the beginning of our session tonight, and you'll notice it even when we do our practice, the energy is flowing. right? There is this entanglement that is happening that we know we don't need to physically be together at the same space or at the same time. And this is how I believe that people innately tune into this energy. At some point, they have learned this and they are simply remembering what they already know. It could be that they've taken the workshop and they've run energy to their past selves, which is something we talked about in the workshop, or their future selves, or perhaps there is any combination of someone was running energy to you, you were able to innately and intuitively come into this information. And we can use this to boost other healing techniques as well as simply using quantum touch. And I talked about this earlier, where you can use it if you are a medical professional to boost any modality that you have, or you can use it as just quantum touch. So we're working with life force energy, and the essence of the energy is love. Love is a universal healer. And this is a quote by Richard Gordon, the founder of Quantum Touch. And he says, "Love is a universal vibration. It communicates to all species, functions on all levels, and expresses our true nature." So simply being present, being in the now, we are tapping into our true nature, and this is the love. This is the life force energy. He has another great quote that I love because it really helps me to remember and understand this principle that a rock doesn't need to be more rock-like, and we don't need to be more love-like. Love is our true nature, and when we are present, when we are simply here, we can access that energy, and that is what we do in Quantum Touch to access the life force energy, is tuning into love and what we love the most to bring in that vibration of love. So what is quantum? Quanta is the smallest unit of radiant energy. So we are working at the subatomic level where all matter is intertwined. This is where we can get into quantum entanglement, where our consciousness impacts the world. A thought that we have can ripple out and affect around us. And when you start to become aware of the thoughts that you're having, you'll start to see how your environment is in vibration with those thoughts. So we are working at the quantum level where our consciousness affects matter. And we're using resonance instead of force or temperature, where we're working at the cellular level through vibrational energy. And we'll get into resonance shortly. So we like to say our three main principles of quantum touch are breath, intention, and attention. So as we have here, breath is so important. And in quantum touch, we learn 5 different breathing techniques that not only allow us to increase the life force energy in our space, but it also will protect us from taking on energy of our clients. Sometimes you will hear energy professionals saying that they can feel drained, or they feel like their energy has been lost, or whatever it might be. Sometimes people in energy healing will feel like after working on a couple clients, they need to recharge themselves, or they're feeling tired. With quantum touch, that is not the case. Because we are working with our breath, we are creating a high vibrational field that others will entrain to. So we're never using our energy. We are tapping into life force energy, which gives us infinite energy, which allows us to protect ourselves and not feel drained after a session. And I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. Intention is where we want the energy to go. So it's this positive. When we're working with energy healing, it's always a positive intention. It's our wish, it's our preference for the client. So we want to create this expanding energy field of positive intention, seeing them thriving, happy. I like to ask my clients and students, what is that dream? What is that vision that you have for yourself? Can you imagine yourself in that future moment where this pain has already been resolved? And an example I like to use with this is, say you have knee pain, right? Most people would have their intention as the intention of the session is to get rid of the knee pain, to reduce the knee pain, or to no longer have knee pain. And although that might sound like a great intention, what you're actually doing is calling in a situation in which you will always need to heal the knee, right? So if we have knee pain, the intention can't be healing the knee. It has to be past that. A scenario where you're not even going to consider your knee anymore, right? So maybe that vision is going to be hiking, or you're doing errands with ease, or you're able to move around your home, or you're able to partake in those activities that you love. And you're not even thinking about your knee. You're just so engulfed in the joy and the gratitude of these activities that you love. So that's the intention we want to hold. We want to hold this intention in the positive future moment where you no longer have these concerns. So we do go more in depth with intention within the workshop. And then attention, we want to be present with our attention. We want to bring our awareness into our body so that we can notice these sensations. Energy follows thought. So we bring our attention through our body to help move the energy. And we use the terms giving the energy or sending the energy, but what that really means with quantum touch is through resonance and entrainment. So resonance is the phenomenon that occurs when similarly tuned vibrations will meet and then energy is transferred between them. So if you play the A key on a piano, that A vibration will vibrate through the air and it would strum or string the A chord on a guitar. So it is where the vibration is sent out and it will affect a similarly tuned vibration. It will affect another object. And entrainment is taking that one step further where the vibrations will meet. So as a quantum touch practitioner, we learn to raise our vibration with all these techniques, and then we entrain to our client. And we're going to hold a dominant vibration through these techniques so that our client will rise to us. And now our client will have an abundance of energy. Okay. And this is what their body is going to use to heal. So as long as we are using the quantum touch principles and keeping our vibration high, our clients will entrain to us. And this is where we get to consciously choose that vibration. We get to hold this space and allow our clients to meet us. All right. And in this way, we're not going to feel drained. You might notice, if you notice your energy is draining, it just means you're not doing the techniques, in which case you just become aware of that and you raise your vibration again. All right. Which we talk about in the workshop. And like I said, so we've now held that dominant vibration. We've brought our client up. They have this energy. Now their body knows what to do with this energy. So we're trusting that there's this inner healer. There is this innate body intelligence within us. There is this capacity to heal, that our cells want to be healthy. So we hold this vibration as a practitioner, we allow the client to receive this energy, and then their body can take all of this energy and heal as it sees fit. And just like our client came up and received all this energy, we receive this energy too. So every time as a practitioner that I share this energy with someone else, my body is also receiving this loving energy, which makes this a win-win. And this is how a practitioner does not feel drained at the end of a session. You actually feel energized and your body will receive that healing too. Which brings us to our next question. What is pain? So when we have pain, think about it. When something is painful, it brings your attention to that area. And what happens with our attention? Our energy follows thought, right? Where our attention goes, energy flows. So when we have a headache, there is pain in our head and it brings our awareness now to our head. Our attention is in our head. That means that energy is going to our head. So pain is our body's way of communicating with our inner healer to show us where we have stopped loving or expressing ourselves and where that energy needs to go for healing. Like I just mentioned, headaches is very effective for headaches. Oftentimes clients will comment on that if they have headaches or migraines, that it has suddenly gone away. I know I have used this on my kids countless times. If they have a headache, I will just run the energy. It is really effective and powerful in that way. And lastly, energy happens on all levels. So physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Oftentimes, if there is pain, like knee pain or even like a headache, it can resolve that. Mental, maybe you're feeling anxious or depressed, and it will help to uh, lighten your mood. And emotional, maybe you are feeling anger or grief or guilt or shame, anything that is coming up, the energy can help shift that. And spiritual, there is a spiritual dynamics, and oftentimes clients will express that they feel held, they feel guided, maybe they receive an answer to a question they have been pondering, they receive deep insight. The energy is going to work on all levels. And we don't get to control or choose that. We trust the inner healer. So sometimes, and I had an example of a client, he came to me because he had recently gotten a dog, and his now being with this dog, he was experiencing allergies. So he asked if we could run energy to his allergies so that he could relieve them naturally and thus keep his dog. Absolutely. So we start running the energy, and I'm running the energy to his sinuses and kept getting the sensation that the energy was going to his hips. It felt like there was a lot of anger that was needing to come up. And in the first couple sessions, it was really about moving anger throughout his body. So even though his intentions were the physical sinuses, his body knew where he needed the energy, and that was just releasing anger out of his hips, out of his chest, releasing anger from the body. So in this way, we trust the inner healer, and the physical symptom is what's getting our attention. But oftentimes, the symptom that brings the client through the door is not the main issue that needs to be addressed. Oftentimes, that surface complaint is the tip of the iceberg, right? And we're just trusting that the inner healer knows how to use this energy at the root for the relief of this symptom. And within a couple sessions, this client did relieve himself of the sinuses after relieving himself also of this anger that moved through. Okay, so we like to say that quantum touch delivers positive side effects. Awesome. So I really wanted to share this one healing story with you. Meet my client, Lynn. She wanted a deeper connection with her grandkids, and that is why she came to me. She said that she would hear other grandmothers talk about having time and spending time with their grandkids, and it sounded so lovely. And Lynn was just being completely honest, and she said that she didn't feel that, but she really wanted to deeply connect with her grandkids. So I start running the energy, and right away it felt like emotions were coming up. It felt like grief was coming up, and around the age that she was 8. And I shared this with her, and she was feeling this too because all these memories were coming up. And sure enough, she had a guinea pig, and her guinea pig died while she was at school when she was 8 years old. And her parents, not knowing how to deal with this situation, thought it would be best to simply dispose of the guinea pig so she wouldn't have to deal with that. Right? But thus it created this situation in where Lynn didn't feel like she was able to grieve. And then this impacted her relationships because she wouldn't trust. She didn't let herself be seen and involved in relationships because she was scared it would just end and she would have no control over it. And she didn't want to hold on to that pain. So she blocked herself from really engaging in these relationships. So we ran the energy. We ran the energy to herself when she was 8, to her parents, to the situation, to holding this intention that she can have positive, connected relationships, meaningful relationships. She can feel close to her grandchildren, and she can enjoy the bond that she has. And we were able to clear the energy. And not only was she able to bond with her grandkids, but also strengthen within her relationships. So once again, whatever that challenge is that we're experiencing, we can run the energy to that. And sometimes it's in the moment. Oftentimes, it is something that happened in the past. The energy of that past is being held. Those emotions that we experienced that we weren't able to process or acknowledge are stored in our bodies. And quantum touch is really powerful for acknowledging that, shifting that energy while holding that intention of what we want to move the energy and create these beautiful results. Awesome. So I shared a bit before, you can combine quantum touch with other modalities. You don't have to do just quantum touch. So whatever you currently are using, you can add quantum touch into that. Whether it's another form of energy healing, there has been many successful practitioners who use both Reiki and quantum touch together, so you can combine different energy healings. Other sort of professions like chiropractor, osteo, massage. I mentioned that osteopath earlier. A number of massage therapists will use this as well within their practice to really help their clients move through. It's so funny after you learn this and you become aware of the energy, you think back. For myself, I realized that the massage therapist who I saw during while wanting to get pregnant and during pregnancy, she later told me was trained in hands-on healing. And I realized that when I was going for a massage, she was also using energy work to help in her practice, which is very common. You might hear that with massage therapists to help protect themselves from taking on the energy of their clients. So oftentimes when you're around a lot of people and you don't understand how to hold that dominant vibrational field, you can feel drained. So quantum touch is great, not even to deliver to a client, but simply to hold this high vibrational field for yourself in whatever your work could be. I have taught this to farmers, to bankers, to business owners. So you don't even have to have a medical uh, business or helping clients in that way. You can continue to hold that vibration of where you're at. Really powerful with mental health, other sorts of therapy. We talked about nursing and medicine, business. You can help attract clients into your business. You can hold this vibration, and people will feel that. They will feel magnetized to that. They may choose your product over another. They can feel the energy in it. And we can create these vibrational fields within our lives that will radiate out, as well as just daily life. You can run energy into your bed so that you have a good night's sleep. You can run energy into your food, that it will be nutritious and serve your body. You can run energy into your home for safety and protection and welcoming opportunities. I love to run energy into my vehicles as I'm driving. If I'm at the park or the playground, I'll run energy into the playground. Another example, when driving, I can run energy into the intersections. And actually, we moved to this home and we're in the country, and the nearest intersection, ever since we first came to this home, I always felt tight. Like I always felt it felt very constricted, and I felt very uncomfortable going through that intersection. And since moving here and talking with the neighbors, and simply just being here, we would notice that emergency service vehicles would be flying down our vehicle like every other week. Apparently, it was very common that accidents happened at this intersection. So I started running energy to the intersection. And within, I would say, about 6 months to a year of living here, somewhere in there, they changed the intersection from a two-way stop to a four-way stop, and they added lights. And now we see emergency vehicles go down our road like maybe once a year, maybe twice a year. It's not very common. So absolutely running energy to spaces around you will shift the energy and create beautiful outcomes. Awesome. So we're going to take a moment now and we're going to do a mini practice where we get to experience the energy. Beautiful. Let me just take a sip of water here. So I'm going to briefly go over the steps, and then I'm going to stop the share, and you can turn your camera on and we can work through these, because this is the time when you actually get to feel and practice a bit of quantum touch. So we kind of made a simple version that we get to share, so you get a taste of it. So first, we're going to tune into the awareness of energy. So we're going to become aware of the feeling of life force energy, bringing our full attention into our bodies. We're going to add in our breath. We're going to hold an intention for the greatest and highest good. And then we will direct the energy through our hands. All right, so we're going to start with cultivating the energy and becoming aware of it. So we're going to use our hands, and I'm going to have you rub your hands together. All right. So we're really bringing our awareness into our body now. So I want you to pause and pull your hands apart. And now feel the space between your palms. Noticing any sensations. Beautiful. So now we're going to rub our hands for another 10 seconds. All right, and now we are going to place them over our face. So not holding our face, but just gently place them. Feeling the air between your face and your hands. Noticing any sensations. Awesome. And now we're going to rub our hands one more time. And as we're rubbing our palms, I want you to put your full attention into your hands. You can look at your hands. Awesome. And now I want you to bring your knee up and just placing your hands on your knee. Putting your full attention on your knee. Noticing what you experience. Beautiful. So now you can kind of move your knees. See if you can feel a difference between them. You might notice that one is less stiff than the other. All right, and just to even it out, let's just put some energy into the other knee as well. So placing your full attention on your hands, trusting that it is filling with life force energy, that your body is filling with life force energy. All right, and now placing your hands on your other knee. Beautiful. Noticing how your knees feel now. So this is a beginner's way of becoming aware of the energy, and now we are going to expand this again. So like I mentioned earlier, quantum touch uses attention, intention, and breathing to cultivate life force energy. So we just practiced bringing attention in, and we're going to expand that now throughout our entire body. So we're going to imagine parts of our body, because as we imagine, we are bringing our attention to these parts of our body. All right. So I want you to start by putting attention inside your feet. Simply imagining your feet, bringing your full attention into your feet, moving your awareness up your body, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your thighs, your hips, your waist, your back and chest, moving your attention up to your shoulders, your neck, your head, and to the crown. And now we're going to bring our attention back down and out our hands. So bringing our attention down your head, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, and out your fingers. Beautiful. So this is how the healing energy will move through our body when we cultivate it. So inside from your feet up to your legs, your torso up to your crown, and then back down your head, neck, shoulders, arms, and out your hands. Okay? So I want you to take a moment now, bring your attention into your feet, bringing it up your legs, your knees, thighs, hips, waist, tummy, chest, neck, face, crown, and then crown, face, neck, shoulders, arms, and out your hands. So that is our attention. We want to bring our attention through our body, moving from our feet to our crown and then out our hands. And to add more healing energy, we are going to bring in our breath. So I want you to fully inhale, feeling your body expand. So imagine you can bring the energy up through your feet. You can inhale it up your body to your crown. And then you can exhale it out your neck, shoulders, arms, hands. So your inhale and your exhale should perfectly match the movement of your attention in your body. So as we inhale, we can bring our attention up our body to our crown. And as we exhale, bringing it down and out our hands. So now let's take a moment. I'm going to start the music and we're going to breathe. So as you inhale, bringing your attention up your body to your crown. Exhale, sending that energy down and out your hands. You can cup your hands if you want to gather that energy. Inhale fully as you give your body your attention from your feet to your crown. Exhale as you move your attention down your head, neck, shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers. Your inhale and exhale should perfectly match the movement of your attention in your body. As you inhale, bringing your attention up your body to your crown. As you exhale, bring your attention down your crown and out your fingers. Keep breathing smoothly and fully without holding your breath or tensing your muscles. Remember to notice what you sense in and around your hands as you exhale. As we're breathing this energy up and through our body, let's boost it with some heart energy, bringing in our intention. Intention is what we want, what we prefer, and it comes from our heart. In energy healing, our intention is always positive. If someone is in pain, we offer energy to help. And when we are in pain, we can help ourselves as well. As you breathe in, move your attention up the inside of your body to your crown and try to feel any uplifting emotion, gratitude, love, appreciation, joy, wanting to help. And as you exhale, you can move your attention down your head, arms, hands, fingers, feeling the same emotions. Letting your heart and its powerful energy enhance the healing frequencies you are cultivating. Inhale, bringing your attention up your body to your crown. As you exhale, bring bringing your attention down your crown and out your fingers. Noticing what you sense in and around your hands as you exhale. Because the energy you are generating with quantum touch is very powerful, you will never need to use physical force or pressure. Your hands stay loose, relaxed. When you are practicing, you would rest your hands lightly on someone or slightly away from the body. As you can feel, if your hands are cupped, the energy is gathering. As you breathe, bringing life force energy through your body and out your hands. Using your attention, breathing, and intention to cultivate the healing energy. Noticing sensations in and around your hands as the energy is coming out of your palms. The receiver of the energy will use this energy in a way that is best for them. As a quantum touch practitioner, our job is simply to use our attention, breathing, and intention to cultivate the energy, bring life force energy through us, and we offer the energy as you would a gift. Beautiful. So you can bring yourself back into this space, drinking some water if you have it with you. Because quantum touch uses our breath, there is a lot of physical respiration and evaporation, so loss of water, as well as your body is already doing such beautiful healing work. So even in this few minutes of running the energy, your body is receiving this life force energy and your body is starting to heal as it needs. So it's important to stay hydrated so that your body can incorporate and integrate the energy throughout your body. Awesome. So I would love to know, how did that feel? If you feel comfortable sharing, you can unmute yourself. I would love to know how that felt bringing the energy through your body, or if you have any questions, we can chat about that now too. Miriam.
It felt really, really peaceful. Very, it's interesting because I was only expecting the physical side of it, I think, but I felt very peaceful in my spirit as well, if that makes sense. But yeah, I felt the longer it went on and the more I focused on breathing in, the more I could feel the tingling between my hands and almost like, I don't know if it's not air circulating, but like a cold or a change in temperature, maybe even. I'm not sure. Some heat or cold. I couldn't really identify it. It was just, I could feel there was something happening.
Beautiful.
And, but it could go away quickly. It was like coming and then going, and then I had to focus and close my eyes and keep breathing or it would go away. So that was my
Yeah.
experience. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, and that is a great observation. So oftentimes we expect a physical change or shift, but we are more than just physical beings. So when we tap into the energy, it's almost like we become aware of these other dimensions of ourselves, right? Aspects in the mental, emotional, spiritual realm, and you're just developing awareness, right? You're just becoming more aware. So even as you mentioned how you were experiencing energy, now it gets to be this beautiful kind of journey of exploring and just being present and noticing what it feels like to have energy move through you. And you'll start to become more aware of the energy. Even when you walk into a room and there's other people, you'll start to sense the energy of your surroundings, your environment, of objects that come into your life. Like you're just becoming more aware. And that's a really cool experience. And the beautiful thing about quantum touch is you're now in a community and you can share these experiences and learn more. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Did anyone else notice anything, or if you have any questions, we can cover that too.
Yeah, I'm Erika, and I felt warmth going through my body, and I felt the energy between my hands, and it was a good sensation what I felt.
Beautiful. Yes, and even in just this simple exercise, you can notice the energy moving through. And when we learn this inside the workshop, we will learn the quantum touch technique in great detail within the first 2 hours of the workshop. So you really get to expand this feeling, uh, and then we get to really build on it. We learn different ways of expanding the energy, tapping into the vibration of love, vibration of gratitude. We can bring in positive expectations, really expanding our intentions, letting go of our attachment to the outcomes, trusting the process. We can ask for help. We can tap into spiritual beings or past loved ones or other entities that we can bring energy through, ascended masters, angels. We learn to work with chakras, vortexing, toning, bringing in colors, movements, sound, imagination. These are all incredible ways that we can expand the energy. And that's what we learn inside the workshop. Beautiful. So I just wanted to share a few last slides here. Awesome. So I want to invite you to upcoming classes. So if you're wanting to learn more, the Quantum Touch Level 1 workshop is a 14-hour workshop, and it's delivered either over 2 days or sometimes I do it over 4 days. And it's a great way to learn this technique, meet incredible people, and you can really transform your lives and others. So I have my listed workshops here. So my next one is going to be in September on 6th and 7th from 4 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's where I am. I am in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. So this one will be on a Saturday, Sunday, and we'll do it live via Zoom. So wherever you are in the world, you are able to join us. And then I have one in October and I split it over 4 nights. So it would be a Wednesday, Thursday of one week, and then the following week it's a Wednesday, Thursday. And splitting it up over 4 nights is really great because it gives you more time to integrate, to really use the technique in your day-to-day to notice how that feels, and then you can ask questions and we can chat about that too. So like I said, that one is also going to be live on Zoom. And then I have one more coming up in November, and we're going to host this in person at my home. So I'm really excited to gather in person. So if you are in the area, that is awesome. If you know somebody in the area, that would be incredible. Or if you wanted to travel to Ottawa and join us, that would be fun too. The beauty of the in-person workshop is you really do get to feel it in person. Most of our workshops went live via Zoom because of COVID. COVID happened, we couldn't gather in person. We started doing workshops over Zoom. We realized just how powerful it was. So most of us have continued to offer the workshops over Zoom, which is really great. It helps mitigate time zones, or if there's not an instructor near you, you can still attend the workshop and get incredible experience. And not being tied to one location or another, but the in-person is also great as well. So the full price for the workshops is $460 Canadian. If you register in advance, so 3 weeks early, you can get a discount of $80, which would be $380. This workshop coming up is going to be in 2.5 weeks, but I will give you to the end of the week if you want to join that. I will honor that savings for you. So you can still get the pre-registration pricing for the September workshop if that one works for you. As well, you can get that pre-registration workshop discount for the October and the November one too, because we still got time for those. The beautiful thing is if you've taken the workshop, you can repeat the workshop at a 50% discount. And this becomes a really great way of staying connected within Quantum Touch and continuing to learn to experience through other instructors. So you take the workshop the first time, you pay full price. At the end of the workshop, you will receive a certificate. And the certificate will say that you finished the workshop, and then you can use that certificate with any instructor. So you don't have to repeat it with me. You can find another instructor that you resonate with, and you can take it from them. Likewise, you can take your first workshop with somebody else simply, and then if you wanted to repeat your workshop with me, you simply show me your certificate of your previous workshop, and then I would honor that 50% discount for you too. So this is a really great way. People like to use this as a way of developing this skill because every workshop is going to be different based on your state of awareness and perspective. You may have a different instructor. There's going to be different people in the workshop that are going to ask different questions and have different experiences. And each workshop really is unique to the individuals who are in it. So repeating the workshop is a really great way of meeting new people, experiencing it on a new level, just like reading a book for the second time. You just get so much more out of it, and continuing, because every time you take the workshop, you are going to change. There's going to be shifts within you, so you'll never take the same one twice, if you know what I mean. As well, when you take the level 1 workshop, it now gives you access to all 7 workshops that Quantum Touch offers. So they streamlined their workshops. I don't have a slide of that. That would have been smart. So they have workshops 1 to 7. And once you take level 1, you can use that certificate to take any of the other workshops. So you don't have to take workshops 2 to 7 in order, but you do need to take number 1 first as a prerequisite. And once again, you can go on the Quantum Touch website, you can look up workshops, and everyone has their workshops listed there. All the instructors do. Any questions about workshops? Can always send me an email too. And maybe you just want to book a session.
I guess I do have a question.
Oh, yes, Miriam.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I do have a question. I'm thinking of the full day one, the full set, a full day. How does it work with, are there any breaks to, eat, use the washroom? I assume so, but
yes,
I just want to
absolutely.
be prepared.
So with the full day workshop, we'll take an hour break for lunch. So that will be somewhere in the middle, and then we'll take breaks throughout as needed. So sometimes it's like a 5-minute body break, sometimes it's a 15-minute break. It really just depends on the flow of the workshop, the individuals involved, who needs a break, and it really does seamlessly fit into the day. So whenever somebody needs a break, we can take a break, as well as having that hour-long break in the middle to really allow yourself to regroup. And then likewise with when I teach it over 4 days and it's split, then we wouldn't take a long lunch break. It would just be smaller breaks as needed during that 3.5 hours together.
So if I understand correctly, if you're there, you follow along and do everything, there's no specific requirement other than being present to receive the certificate for that first level. There's no, so I've done a lot of schooling and stuff, so my mind is going, is there a test or something?
No, there's no test. You just need to be present for it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never failed a student. I've never felt like a student hasn't picked it up. You would be surprised. Everyone is quite skilled coming out of the workshop. Like I said, we learn the full technique within the first 2 hours, and even in that, students are amazed by the changes they are experiencing in themselves and in others when they're working with their practice partners. And then the rest of the workshop is really developing and building on those skills, bringing in all these other elements. Like I mentioned, we work with chakras, colors, sound, vortexing, imagination, vibration of love and gratitude, trusting the process. There's a lot of elements that we can use to really amplify the energy. And by the end, everyone is quite skilled at that.
Okay. And just
Mhm.
to confirm I understood correctly regarding the pricing, for
Mhm.
the next 2 days, we would still have access to the reduced price for September?
Absolutely. Yeah. I will share a code that you can use so you can still access the pre-registration pricing until Saturday.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Or perhaps you want to book a session. So absolutely, I do one-on-one sessions with clients. So I will send out my booking link with that website if you're interested in booking a session. One-on-one sessions are really great because we can target whatever that pain or that challenge, that concern is for you. We can really get clear on your intention. I work a lot with my clients on this, really developing that intention, that vision that they have for the future. What is it that you do want so that we can run the energy there? Most clients will experience shifts, whether physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Uh, Clients often experience a feeling of warmth or tingling or lightness or deep peace within the time of the energy. The energy continues to run. So you notice benefits and side effects coming after the time as well. I always hold the intention that the energy will continue to run for as long as it's needed. And like I mentioned before, when you're offering the energy, I like to use the analogy of a gift. And sometimes our body is ready to simply receive that gift and we're feeling the beauty and the experience of it in the moment, right? But sometimes we're given a gift and we're kind of like, I don't know if I really want this. Maybe I'll put it on the shelf and I'll come back to it, right? So sometimes we experience these healings and this beauty a day later or a week later or a month later. And we're really working with the energy, with divine timing, and we're trusting that our innate intelligence knows how and when to use the energy, right? So even if we don't see an immediate effect in the moment, it doesn't mean it didn't work. It just meant that our body is going to use it when it's for our greatest and highest good. And I had this client earlier in the beginning of my career, and I was running the energy to her, and we finished. She wanted me to run energy to her hips. Her hips were measured by a chiropractor. They were out by like a centimeter, and she wanted to bring them into alignment. So I'm running the energy and I'm finished, and I ask her, "How are you feeling?" And she's like, "I didn't feel anything. The energy didn't work. Nothing happened. Nothing changed." And I was like, well, the body has a way of using the energy when it's for our greatest and highest good. So just trust the process because we're working with your innate intelligence. And I will touch base with you in a couple days. And not even a day later, she sends me an email and she says, I wish I could have recorded the experience because I can't even explain how it happened. It felt as if she said, I was feeling tired after the session. I went to lay down. And then she said it felt like her body was lifted off the couch. Her hips were rotated. She was brought back down. She got up. She said her hips were in alignment. She said she had a great sleep. She said that her blood pressure was normal. And she just felt energized. So sometimes the energy doesn't happen in the moment. Sometimes it does, but we just trust that our body will use the energy when it sees fit. Um, you also might notice that emotions come up. This is the energy moving. You might notice there's some anger coming up, or some shame, or frustration, or vulnerability. This is simply the energy moving, and we're going to be present with it and let our body express it. So it's learning how to feel safe with our emotions and simply just being present with them. You might experience insights, clarities, or a shift in perspective, right? Suddenly that issue doesn't seem so large, or suddenly you feel guided to know what to do, right? There are spiritual elements here that are coming in and that we're becoming aware of. And sometimes it's simply a sense of calm presence that you haven't felt in a long time. You just feel at peace, you feel ease, and then maybe you'll go to bed and you'll have a great night's sleep. And it's really beautiful to see or to I guess, watch or experience how it's going to come about in your life. Uh, Richard Gordon likes to call He likes to say that we can receive miracles and we can receive miracles every day, and it can be normal to receive miracles. So he now calls them normicals, that we can make it normal to have miracles, that they're normicals, uh, which is beautiful. Awesome. So that brings us to the end of our share. I went over time. I'm so sorry for going over time, but I hope you enjoyed. I will send you out a link if you want to watch the replay, if you want to send it to a loved one, if you know someone who might benefit from this work, you can pass my information along. Beautiful. So I just want to thank you for showing up tonight, for cultivating the energy. The breathing work that you've done is already so powerful. So just continue to breathe, to bring your attention through your body, to hold your intention, to hold that dream, that wish you have within, and to let that energy flow.